Hello, hello, everyone. Hello. Good morning, depending on where you're joining from. Good afternoon. It's evening here in Nigeria, so I would say good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. It's our pleasure to be hosting this session this evening. So please, just in the chat box, please tell us where you're joining from. Good evening, everyone. And a warm welcome to our October e-learning time. Good evening. Yes, just go right to the chat box and say hi, hello. Good evening. I'm joining from Akwa Ibom. I'm joining from Lagos. So just let's make good use of the chat box. Good evening and say hello to everyone. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I can see more people joining. Thank you for coming. Thank you for making our time for this October e-learning. Thank you. Thank you. Good evening. Just say hi, hello. I'm joining from Lagos. I'm joining from Ibadan. I'm joining from London. Just tell us where you're joining from. Okay, Chineye. Oh, joining from Lagos. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Please tell us where you're joining from. Tell us where you're joining from. All right, I can only see, okay, Aisha joining from Abuja. Okay, Aisha joining from Abuja. Ijeoma joining from Ogun State. Thank you. Tommy Forward joining from Lagos. All right, it's a pleasure to welcome everyone. Thank you. All right, Stella joining from Lagos. Okay, where are the Uyo people? Yes, I am Elizabeth Ogunshola, CEO, Brainy Hive Schools. I am joining from Uyo. If you have not been to Akwa Ibom before, you are wrong. You should be in Akwa Ibom State. All right, so Mo Aremo joining here from Miami. Wow, thank you, thank you. I can see Claire from Uyo, yes, my Uyo people, you're here. Thank you. Chisom from Port Harcourt, okay. All right, so the next thing we're gonna be doing right now is to call out somebody you know in the chat box and just type, hi, it's good to see you here. Just call out someone you know. Go to the chat box and call out someone you know and say, hi, Claire, it's good to see you. All right, I'm doing that right now. Call out someone you know and say, hi, it's good to see you. Okay. All right, all right. Thank you. How many people are doing that already? All right. We need more people. Just call out someone and say, hi, it's good to see you. Call out someone and say, hi, it's good to see you. All right. I know that today's e-learning topic is going to be a very interesting one. Honestly, believe me. With the speaker that we have for today, you're going to enjoy every bit of your time. You're going to enjoy it, okay? You're going to enjoy it. So we want this session to be very, very engaging. So please feel free to use the chat box, okay? And if you have any questions after the speaker is done with the presentation, then you could unmute yourself or just type your questions in the chat box. Please, and make it engaging when the speaker is speaking. All right, thank you, thank you. More people joining, thank you so very much, thank you. At this point, I would like to call on the vice chair, the committee, the membership committee vice chair, Madam Ichechi Okonkwo, to give her opening remarks. Thank you. Over to you, Madam Ichechi Okonkwo.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Thank you, everyone who has joined us today. Welcome, welcome, ladies. Thank you for joining in. Welcome to yet another enriching edition of our e-learning series. I am particularly really thrilled to kick off this special edition, being the last for the year. And we're discussing something really, really important, centered around a very important topic, career journey mapping and power play. I know a lot of us are, C-suites, business executives, and career women. So this would be really, really vital on our journey. Navigating our professional trajectory requires a deliberate and strategic approach. And so with this session, I believe that we will delve into the details of understanding and plotting our career paths, all while exploring the dynamics of power play in the professional landscape. But before we go into that, I'd like to take a moment to express my sincere, very sincere and profound gratitude to our esteemed founding members, the dedicated board members, the chairs and members of all the 7 committees for the year, the ED and WIMBIS HQ, for all the efforts that, all these women put into building well-rounded women. I am sincerely very grateful to you all. Thank you. So I'd like to encourage every one of us signed on today to please embrace this learning opportunity with an open mind, really, ready to absorb the fountain of knowledge Madam Taiwo is about to unleash on all of us. Please let us know. Elizabeth has already initiated a lot of that, where you are signing in from. Let us know what your journey has been, your professional career journey, what it has been. Let us take a moment, to celebrate you. I'm sure Elizabeth will do that when she takes over. We would like to know what you have been up to, and we would like to celebrate you. As members of WIMBIS, our commitment to constant growth, broaden perspectives, and continued learning is, it remains steadfast. Knowledge truly is the foundation of empowerment. And so WIMBIS has continued to give us the opportunity to empower ourselves, and we are definitely very grateful for that. Today, we have the privilege of hosting a very distinguished guest speaker, Madam Taiwo Abatan, who would shed light into this all-important topic today, career journey mapping and power play within the professional landscape. Understanding how power plays out in the professional sphere is very essential for our growth in our career journeys. And so I would enjoin all of you to please listen, put down your questions, be ready to ask all of it when she's done. Feel free to share your expectations in the comment section. I'm sure she would go through and touch them where she can. Thank you once again for joining. We look forward to an amazing session. Bye for now. So over to you, Elizabeth. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, the Vice. Thank you for the opening remark. Such a pleasure to hear you give the opening remark this evening. All right, graciously, I would like to, say just a few things, because the speaker is so powerful that I don't think I'm actually worthy to be introducing the speaker, but yes, WIMBIS gave me this opportunity, and I am grateful to be introducing Madam Taiwo Dayo Abatan. So thank you for accepting to be doing this evening. Madam Taiwo Dayo Abatan is an exemplary professional with an illustrious career spanning over a quarter century. Madam Taiwo stands as an accomplished HR specialist who has redefined the landscape of human resource management. Currently serving as the esteemed regional head of HR Sub-Saharan Africa for VFS Global, she commands a realm spanning more than 30 good strategic locations, orchestrating human capital strategies that resonate with the organization's overarching corporate mission. Madam Taiwo's impact has transcended traditional HR roles, encompassing esteemed board positions and faculty roles. She serves on the advisory council of the Association of Professional Facilitators and Trainers in Africa, and as a member of the board of trustees of the Power Women Network. Additionally, Taiwo is the advisory board of chair of HR Expo Africa, the visionary force behind the continent's premier work festival. Taiwo's impact has resonated globally and as evidenced by a constellation of awards and accolades that adorn a journey. A quintessential leader, Madam Taiwo believes in the ethos of teamwork, fostering camaraderie that amplifies accomplishments. In a multifaceted journey, Madam Taiwo remains anchored by her role as a dedicated spouse and a nurturing parent, embodying the same passion that fuels a professional journey. Please help me make welcome graciously by, saying, Madam, hello. Help me make welcome Madam Taiwo Dayo Abaton. Madam, you're welcome. Over to you.
Thank you very much, my esteemed compere, Elizabeth. Thank you for that introduction. Thank you, Chair, for the membership committee. Thank you for your welcome address. And good evening, good afternoon, good morning. We say hello, everyone, depending on where you are on planet Earth. It's an honor to be here. My sincere appreciation to the leadership of Wendy's, great community of women doing remarkable things. And it's an honor and a privilege to be here. And I do not take it for granted. For the next 40 minutes, we will be going on the topic, career journey mapping and power play. So when I was reached out to take this topic, I was, oh, wow, quite an interesting one, because we need to understand the dynamics of how we are or how we should be intentional, how we should be deliberate about our career, and also understand that the place of work is warfare. And we also need to understand the power play that happens in the place of work. And how do we position ourselves as women, first of all, as professionals, because there's no gender in the workplace. First of all, as professionals, that we're making good use of that place and that we are earning our stripes as expected. So yes, as an HR professional, my profile has been read. We love to tell stories. There's this adage that says that experience is the best teacher. Who agrees with me? If you do so, just put it in the chat room. I agree, experience is the best teacher. I'll wait just for 30 seconds. Or somebody says, I agree. Elizabeth says, I agree. Okay, everybody's saying 100%. But I'm going to break a table this evening and say that experience, particularly if it's a bad one, is not a good teacher. It's not the best teacher because it could leave you shattered. It could leave you with scars. It could leave you brokenhearted. So we say that the stories of others is the best teacher. It's good to hear the stories of other people. So you're learning from afar. You're not experiencing it. If you're experiencing some good ones, some bad ones, they could actually give you a scar. So maybe it comes with that statement when it says that experience is the best teacher. So we'll move on quickly. When we say career mapping, I will share my slides very soon, but I'll be talking a lot about stories. Basically using myself as an example, I'm still on that journey. Also, I want to drop a question now to say, yes, 25 years, I'm just starting. We need to get that mindset. One of the things we do as women is that we pick ourselves, we put ourselves on a peak at a particular age or at a particular time, saying, okay, my time has ended, or this is not available for me, or this is not available. So another myth I'm breaking is that we are all on a journey. We're all on a journey. And so there's also no ending to learning. From you becoming brilliant, first of all, we say, oh, she's a smart woman, or she's a smart girl. And then you say she's brilliant. And then you say she's intelligent. And then you say she's a genius. Well, you know, the highest level of knowledge basically is being simple. When you're simple, you're saying I'm more than available all the time to learn. And I think that is the level which we all should be. I'm still learning and I'm on that journey. We could also put it in the chat room. We have various categories of powerful women on this call along different levels or strata when it comes to our career. Some are in entry level, some middle level, some at executive level, some at C-suite level, some are running their businesses. But I'm here again to say that we are all on a journey. I'm putting another word out there that the place of work is warfare. So it's not the office or the work environment is not where you stroll into on a daily basis, and we allow life to toss us back and forth. We have to be deliberate. We have to be intentional, and I'll be sharing from my little experience. Let me know if you can see my screen as I share. Do let me know, please. Is my screen visible? Can you see my deck?
Yes, I can see your screen, madam.
Very well, good. Okay, so if we're gonna go back, so talking about career journey mapping and power play, I just have a few slides. I'll do a lot of talking. And this is how the session will play out. We'll have an introduction. I'll talk a bit about what we say career planning, what do we mean? When we say career map creation, how do you create your map for your career? We'll talk about self-assessment, because even as a coach, one of the things we talk about is that you need to get to a very high level of self-awareness. If I'm going to ask how many people are self-aware on the call, I'm going to say out of the 128, I want to believe that you have about 120 saying that they are self-aware. Internally, you're self-aware. Externally, you're also self-aware. A few of us may also have done one personality assessment or the other. And also a few of us may also have done the one that I really will want everyone to do. That's the privilege work, just to be able to say, how am I really aware of who I am? Unfortunately, data shows that 95% of people who claim to be self-aware are actually not self-aware. So that's another talk for another day. So we'll talk about a bit about significance of self-assessment, how you need to be able to assess yourself, and why it's important, because it's also linked to your career journey. SMART goal setting, the framework around that. Then how do you transition in your career? Somebody has asked me, I'm just starting, and I'm a front desk officer in this company. I want to put it again on the table that your career is a cumulative of everything you have done in the workspace. So I started as a front desk. I was a front desk, I was a cleaner, I was a receptionist, when I started my career. Now, everywhere you have worked, your career is a cumulative of all the years, because at one point in time along that line, you will still have to make reference to an experience or something you've gained along the line. So for those of us, particularly on the call, who are just starting our career, and you believe where you are is not actually where you want to be, you're still on that journey, don't take that opportunity for granted. You're learning something there. So how do we transition in our career? Then we go to the real talk, power dynamics. You need to understand the power dynamics in the office, in the work environment, in the business environment, in the terrain. How does things play out? What kind of animal should I be? Then how power impacts our career progression. A lot of us may be experiencing or may have experienced a gap, a hiatus in between, and we've asked ourselves, what happened? What did I do wrong? Where did I miss it? So how does power impact career progression? And then we also need to talk about influence skills, because at the end of the day, it's not about influence. Then we'll conclude, and then we'll have questions and answers. If you're still with me on this call, just let me know. Don't make me feel alone. You can just drop 1 or 2 words in the chat room. So as an introduction, I would say in the vibrant tapestry of our professional lives, there exists a narrative that revolves around the incredible women who navigate the complex landscape of career. And I'll say incredible women because as women, we combine a lot of things. We're sisters, we are parents, we're wives, we're siblings to other people. We hold different positions in the religious space. We also have to do all that with our work. We also have our community of friends, and so many activities. Now, these women, like characters of an epic tale, embark on journeys filled with dreams. Every one of us, we have our dreams. At the same time, too, on that journey, we are facing challenges. And of course, we all have our accolades, remarkable achievements. Now, as dawn breaks on our aspirations, on a daily basis, we set out on a quest to explore career journey mapping and power play. We have to. So each of us, we are carrying not only our own ambition. So I have an ambition. Let's assume I want to be the MD CEO of a company, of an MNC. But we are also carrying the hopes and aspiration of a generation, or even of generations. And I don't know who agrees with that. So this is not only about yourself, it's also the hopes and aspirations of a generation or even of generations. So it's a lot lies in our hands as women. So we'll talk briefly to say career planning. Why is it important? How is it important? Why must we be deliberate about it? First is that it provides you with a clear understanding of how you are going to achieve your goals. You need to plan and map your career so that you have a roadmap on how you want to achieve your goals. So I always ask whether you stumbled, you tumbled, you were compelled, you were advised, you were mentored, you were counseled into whatever you are doing today. Note that it is not accidental. Now that you are there, you now need to become very deliberate about the roadmap. You need to be able to articulate a roadmap for your career and the goals you intend to achieve, and also how you want to achieve them. So somebody's going to tell me today that I'll become more intentional, I'll become more deliberate. Irrespective of how I got into where I am today, I need now to have a roadmap. The second one is that when you're able to plan your career, it helps you to align your choices with your natural strengths and talents. So I had a session with my mentees, I think on Sunday, and we're talking about personality assessment. And somebody shared hers with me, and I was trying to explain some things to her. And I found out that she was highly introverted, and she's an HR professional. Then we started linking it and tracking it back to the issues she's had in the place of work, because her natural strengths and talents do not align with her career choice as HR, unless she decides to put on a work mask and begin to deliberately exhibit the traits of a human resource professional, which is that you have to be amiable, you have to be available for people, you have to be a very good communicator. She may, at the end of the day, not succeed on that career path. So when you do career planning, you're able to align your career choices with your natural strengths and your talents. Also, the career planning enables you to take informed decisions. So you want to ask yourself, I want to be this person. What kind of courses must I do? What kind of activities must I be involved in? What kind of skills do I have to acquire? Career planning helps you to do this. So you're able to take informed decisions. And also that at the end of the day, when you have career planning, you're able to align your values and your interests in your chosen path. How many of us on the call have been able to clearly articulate our values? I have 3 values that drive me. One is time consciousness. Second one is relationships. I value relationships a lot. And because I believe that man was not created alone. I believe that I don't have what it takes to excel in life, that I need to partner with other people for me to be able to exhibit 100% my full potentials. And if I partner and we all partner together, we make the world a better place. So let's ask ourselves, how many of us have clearly articulated our values? Because your values determine or have a long way or have a long impact on our career choices. And when you're able to do that, you're able to it helps you to get greater job satisfaction. If you're still with me on this call, I told you I have just a few slides because I want us to really talk and ask questions at the end of the call. If you're still with me at the end of the slide that I just shared on the importance of career planning, do let me know in the chat room. So when we're talking about career planning, so doing some definitions. How do we map when you say you want to map your career? So this is what you do. First of all, you have to set clear goals. I'm still saying it again. Set clear goals. Define your career goals. Right from beginning, I made up my mind that I wanted to be a human resource professional. I'm going to break it down. At a point in time, I told myself I want to be HR manager for a company, 200 to 250 employees. And each time a vacancy came, I was deliberate in that, finding out, is that what I wanted? So I could define my goal. At another time, I told myself I wanted to work, and I've shared with a few people on the call. I think Clara, you're one of the people on the call. I said I wanted to work with a company that had footprints across West Africa. I said I wanted to work with a company that was multifaceted, because that would give me mileage. And moving from one organization, maybe health, and to another one, banking, I wanted a company that was more like a conglomerate, that I could have insight into different sectors of the economy. And I said I wanted a company that had footprints across West Africa. At a point in time, I switched jobs, and I got that role. And I set another goal for myself, that I wanted an organization that had over 5,000 employees, and I wanted a global role. And that had been my plan before COVID. And at the end of the day, everything I was doing was strategic to ensure that I got it. And that's where I sit currently. So you need to be able to set clear goals for yourself. The goals must be measurable, they be smart, must be achievable. They could be short-term, they could be long-term. I also asked myself that what were the skills I needed to have to be able to get those kind of roles. So yes, one of them was also, I found that coaching was also one of the sellable skills that could give you mileage and set you apart from other professionals. So I acquired my coaching certification. So setting clear goals, very important. Moving again to say that self-assessment, you need to assess yourself. One of the laws of success is to let self alone be true. So what are your weaknesses? What are your strengths? What are the things you need to do? And I must say it here that if this is the first time of you joining the call of our knowledge sharing sessions that we have at WinBiz, you need to be here every month. I have actually gained a lot. The kind of sessions that we have here on WinBiz, the kind of topics that have been treated in the past have positively impacted me. So do a self-assessment. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are your values? What are your things that interest you? Are you self-aware? What are your triggers? Which environment do you like to be in? And things like that. Then when you've done that, research that field. You need to research. So some people will say, I just love. Yes, you can love. It starts from a desire, but you also have to research that field, gather the information that is required. Know the kind of jobs that are available in that field. Go and find out about the qualification, find out about the remuneration, the market trends, the location, everything, find out about it, and ask yourself, am I right for this? Am I right for this at this time? Now, the role I currently occupy, if they asked me 5 years ago, I would say I wasn't right for it at that time, because currently my role is very nomadic. So I'm neither here nor there. The trigger could be out, I could be in at any time. So you need to assess yourself to say, am I matured enough to understand that terrain, to work in that environment? Does my circumstance and my situation supports what I want to do? So you do your research. Then identify the necessary skills. Do your own evaluation. And I would say when it comes to evaluation, a lot of us are missing out in that area when it comes to mentoring, which is something that WinBiz is also supporting. You need to get a mentor. Get a mentor, get somebody that you can bounce things off, get somebody that can tell you the truth. Do your own evaluation, identify your areas where you need to improve, and begin to work on them. And of course, I talked about the various levels of knowledge. I said about smart, being intelligent, being brilliant, being a genius. The level we should not be operating is to be simple. And when you are simple, you have an open mind, you have a growth mindset, and of course, you're open to continuous learning. Learning is a continuum. So you're constantly up to date with industry trends because you want to acquire new skills and remain competitive. If you're still with me on the call and you're enjoying it so far, before we go to the real meat of the story, which is Power Play, do let me know again in the comment section. So we move to our next slide. This is just talking about the importance and the significance of self-assessment. When you're able to self-assess, it allows you to uncover your unique qualities and preferences. I never knew I was someone who was very resilient. I never knew I could understand languages. I never knew I had a preference for different kinds of cultures. I never knew I was self-absorbing. Until I did my self-assessment. Self-assessment empowers you to make more informed career choices. Many of us were into things or were into jobs that we haven't really assessed ourselves in terms of our capabilities. This is very, very, very important. So self-assessment, when you self-assess, you know what you can do, you know what you cannot do, you know your strengths, you know your limits, and it helps you to take informed career decisions. Self-assessment helps you to recognize your strengths. I've talked about that over and over again. And it has a way of putting a chip on your shoulder because you become very self-confident, because you're also self-aware. And it helps you to also identify areas where you need to improve on your knowledge, on your skills, that you are permanently relevant. You stay relevant all the time. And when you stay relevant, it helps you to deal with some myths and some biases or some mindsets that's society or the environment or culture has put on us as women. There's some limits that society, the environment, and culture has put on us as women. We're capable, we can do it. So this is the framework. I'll just skip this. We all know what it means, how to set your goals using the SMART, the framework. What exactly do I want to accomplish? Why is it important? What do I need to do? Who are my dependencies? Who should I gain their allegiance or their support? And also, when will it happen? So we have things like I wish, or I want to, but timeline. Now also, is it measurable? Can you go back and track? What have I done so far? Is it achievable? Is it just a wish? Or can I really accomplish this? Do I have the resources to do this? How relevant is it to your future? Because like I said, career is a cumulative of everything you have done or you will do over time before you now get to that level where you want to say, I want to rest. And also time bound. So there's a time there's a time frame to achieving your goals. Now, what do you do when you want to transition? So yes, I'm HR. I want to transition into business. I'm HR. I've done 9 to 5 for a while, and I want to be on my own. That's career transition. I've done this, and I want to do this now. You need to embrace a growth mindset. So we hear things like, that is the way it has been done. Or they said that. You need to embrace a growth mindset. Be able to challenge status quo. I've done that on a lot of occasions. Particularly for those of us who are coaches on the call, we ask questions. You ask open questions. The more you ask questions, the more you get leading into issues, and you find out that. So I don't say there are problems. I say there are always challenges. There would always be challenges, but challenges are surmountable. They are surmountable. So when you have that growth mindset, when that word problem shifts to challenges, and because there are challenges, they will and they are surmountable. Set realistic expectations. And that's why I always say it's always your own journey. Set your own expectations. Set realistic ones. We need to develop resilience. Even now that we're in a VUCA D world, that things and circumstances change on the go, you need to develop resilience. Do you buckle at every little challenge? How strong, how resilient are you? Because this is very important, particularly when you're transiting career. I've seen some people that are moving career and they have to go for a lower salary, or they have to move from one location to the other. And even adjusting to that new career or that new role becomes a challenge. You need to develop resilience. Make sure that you have transferable skills. Very important. There's some particular skills that transcend industries. Communication, emotional intelligence, data analytics. There's some roles there's some skills that transcend different industries. Be adaptable. Be adaptable, and of course, subject yourself to mentoring. I cannot emphasize this. I'm a product of mentorship. I'm a product of sponsorship. You need to have a mentor. You need to have a sponsor. I say that the mentor will show you the way, and the sponsor will take you there. Somebody has to be able to speak for you at the table. We'll talk about that when we're talking about power play. If you're still here, do let me know, and I move on. Rounding up before we begin to have the real talk. Now we're talking about power dynamics in the organization and how do we manage that as women. I told you that the place of work is warfare. It's somewhere you don't just stroll into the office, you don't just stroll into the workplace. You need to have your senses and your radar sharp, be able to decipher what is going on, be able to read beyond the lines, know the power blocks, know the gatekeepers, understand the dynamics happening in the workplace. So the concept of power refers to the distribution of influence, authority, and control amongst individuals and groups within the workplace. And this is how power moves. And you may have a combination of all this. You also actually have to have a combination of all this to be able to find your way and your fit in the workplace. Positional power, and that is most times where most of us stay. I am head of HOD, I'm divisional head. It's derived from your job title. So you ask yourself, once you enter into your car or you leave the office, then what else? What else? So is it positional power? It's good. It's going to take you to some level in the office. But what happens when that role is no longer there? So there's positional power. Remember I said you need a combination. Then there's expert power. A lot of us also need to play here because when you have expert power, it's based on your knowledge and your skill, you become almost indispensable to the organization. So I think we've had such stories of, oh, that man, he's so verbose, he's so cruel with his words, but the company doesn't want to let him go. You know what is happening there? He has expert power. He has become indispensable to the organization. I'm not saying the other negatives are right, but when you find people in the organization that they just seem to be able to get their way, or the company cannot do without them because they have expert power. So a combination of positional and expert power, you're on that journey. Now, reward power. I want to say something also about expert power or even positional power. You can put it down today that power is 10% given and 90% taken. I'll repeat myself. Power is 10% given and 90% taken. So let me give an example. Please be informed that please be informed of the resumption of Taiwa Baton. Taiwa Baton resumes in the organization today as yada, 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 yada. She will work out of so and so location and she manages so and so and so and so. Power has been given. They've announced. But you find out that people who have been given power, they're still the ones that come back and they complain. I can't do anything. I tried to, I couldn't do it because you haven't taken it. You have to take power. So when power is given to you by virtue of position or by virtue of expertise or handed over to you in an organization by virtue of an employment or an appointment, then you take it. Taking it means you now own that seat. You now begin to exert your authority by virtue of the power that is given to you. So for most of us, particularly as women, we are given, but we don't take it. I don't know whether you understand the analogy I just gave. Power is 10% given, is 90% taken. And when you take the power, you are saying, it belongs to me, and you begin to use it for the good and also to your own advantage. I move to reward power. So some of us, and that stems from the ability to provide reward and incentives to influence others. And that's why, particularly for us, if you're in positional and you're expert power, you are either managing a team, you are managing a business, and the power to take decisions and that to promote, to reward becomes yours. And so that's a kind of power that can be used for or against you in the place of work. And then there's coercive power. Now, I call coercive power your lifeline. You don't use it often. People that don't understand power dynamics overuse coercive power. They shout, they veto, they send out those kind of emails. If you don't do this, this would happen. I'm not saying you shouldn't use it, but it's a lifeline that you should use sparingly. Now, I found that people who are in power, If you really have power, you wouldn't even exercise your coercive power. People who really have power, they're the most humble, they're the most calm because they understand the implication of them using their power. So coercive power involves use of threats or punishment to gain compliance. You use it once in a while in the workplace. And of course, what is most important is the referent power, whether you are there or you are not there. This arises from your personal charisma, your likability, or the ability to inspire and influence through your own personal qualities. Now, people will do what we do. They will mirror us, not what we say. You want to ask yourself, apart all this power, which one do I wield? Do I wield a combination of everything? Or do I have only one? And this is how we should, at the end of the day, be going towards referent power. That naturally people will defer to you. Naturally people will like you because of your way of life. You are able to influence them through your own personal qualities. If you are still on the call, please do let me know. So this is power dynamics within the organization. And we need to understand how it plays out. We need to understand how it plays out. Let me also say about power dynamics that beyond this, I've said you need to know the gatekeepers, you know to know the different power blocks. You need to, so why do we think, even for us to even play our game well as women, so I see things happen in the office. They say, I belong to so and so person's camp. I remember one of my lives, a company I worked for, we had APC, we had PDP, APC and PDP. And you know what, particularly for those of us who sit either in one board committee or the other, or you sit on the board of an organization, maybe in executive capacity or in non-director capacity, you'll find that dynamics happen at the boardroom. So you could go for a board meeting and you're coming out with the resignation of an MD. Now, for those who have deferred to one camp or the other, it begins to affect them. So the best thing to do in the place of work is to demonstrate your expertise and use that power. Make sure that you're not deferring to any of the camps so that you can transcend generations, that you can transcend different regimes, in quotes. Now, where you defer to also has a way that has a way in affecting your career growth, because it is the voice that is the loudest at the table that gets the upper hand per time. So you want to ask yourself, they're going for this meeting. It depends on, because most times at that level, it's always passing things to a vote. And so it's the voice that has the largest count that counts. And that's why some people, naturally, they merit their promotion. Naturally, they merit their growth. But they just find that things just don't pan out along how they expect it. I'm talking again to us as women, that religion, culture, the environment has also stereotyped us in how we behave in the workplace. And I'm going somewhere, I'm trying to round up now. On how we behave in the workplace. We've been groomed, we've been told, we've been taught. Society has showed us, social media displays every day, that we must use what we have as a stepping stone for our growth. But I would say that it can take you far, it can take you farther. And at a particular point in time, it is your expertise that will stand you out. It is your expertise that will stand you out. And also our level of resilience is what will stand us out. So I'm not saying it's not important for us to display our femininity, but at a point in time, to sustain that growth, it is your expertise that will count, because that is what they would question, and that's what can sustain you. So how power dynamics also impacts your career progression. Power plays a crucial role in determining who gets access to career advancement opportunities. I've mentioned that. Power plays that. Those with more power often have the same promotion decision. So you have positional power, A, you have expertise power. So I'm head of HR for the region, Africa. That's positional power. I'm an HR expert power. Let me go back. And I also I can decide who comes and who doesn't go. I can decide incentives. I can decide reward for people. That's another power. I'm also charismatic. I'm likable. I can inspire people. I influence people. You can see how that will play. And I use my lifeline, my coercive power once in a while. If I need to really need to make people, to compel people to comply, either to corporate policy or to something, I use the coercive power. If you have a combination of all this, it has a way in determining your growth in the workplace. If you've got something there, let me know. You need a blend of those five, the dynamics, a blend. Those with more power often have a say in promotion decisions, making it essential to gain the support and recognition of influential figures. Then we use the word justification. If I want to get anything done, do a justification memo, and I go and sit down with whoever it is, and we'll have that conversation. Not talking from the end of sentiments. So I think I've told people over and over again at sessions, at this level, I don't feel and I don't think. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying I should have a human being. But what comes to play is data, is information. It's not about, I'm thinking that we should do this. I feel we should do this. So when you think and you feel, what happens tomorrow when your feelings and your thoughts, patterns change? So you're talking from the point of, this is what should be done. This is the justification for it. This is the implication if it is not done. So you're able to get things done. So the more of those power of the blend that you have has a way in your career advancement. Also, individuals with power can serve as mentors or sponsors. They've been there, they've seen it. And that's the platform that Wimbiz has given us, providing guidance and support to those that they deem promising. Mentorship helps in career acceleration. Somebody was talking to me. I have a young man who's worked with me in the last 10 years. I met him as a youth corps member in one of my lives. And he has gone with me to every other organization I've worked for. For the last 10 years, I worked for 4 organizations. And he's joining me in my current place of work next week, Monday. Meanwhile, his colleagues who served with him 10 years ago, they're still in entry-level role. Maybe a senior officer now. He's a senior manager. In 10 years, he's married, he has 2 children. You can see what sponsorship and mentorship does. Now, if you ask him, the journey has not been smooth because he's been pummeled, he's been battered, he's been polished, he's been refined, but he chose just to listen. Many of us do not defer to mentorship because we still have a chip on our shoulder. We still have that ego. The mentor has gone on that journey. The senator, remember the first thing I said, experience is not the best teacher. The stories of others and the guidance of others is the best offering you can have. So always embracing that. We have a lot of successful, remarkable people who are even senior to me at Wimbiz that we could latch on and get from their mentorship. You get valuable insights and you get connections. Now, power can increase your visibility within an organization. You know, you said perception rules the world. So they look at you from the lens. It's a colored lens out there. We think it's a fair one. It's a colored lens. So they look at you from that lens. When you have power, you're knowledgeable, you are an expert, you're better properly positioned, you have influence, it gives you visibility. Those in influential positions are more likely to be recognized for their achievements. It's not as if those other people are not also achieving something, but if they're in that position, you recognize them and their contribution, and that can help to boost their career. It can help to boost their career. That to put on a call. I get chats, DMs on LinkedIn saying, would you mind to be on our advisory board? We can say you are doing ABC for so and so organization, for so and so institute, or for so and so university. Do you mind being on our advisory board? Some, yes, I look at it, some I turn down. But what is doing that is because of the position and the visibility that power gives to you. They're still here with me again. I think I'm going to my last slide. We move on. So, you need influencing skills in power dynamics. What skills do you need? You need to be able to manage conflicts. Conflict resolution is a skill that we need to have. Most times, depending on the side, how mature our brains are. So there are three levels. We have the reptilian brain that either fights or flee. Some people's brain are like that. Once they see an issue, they disappear. They don't like confronting issues. That's the reptilia. And some have the mammalia, whereby, yes, you confront issues, you are able to engage people productively and come out with a win-win situation. Some people will even engage, and it's either they win their way or the highway. At the end of the day, when it comes to conflict resolution, you're looking at a win-win situation. So how many times can you go into that mode where you're able to mediate, you're able to persuade, you're able to resolve issues? So when there are tight situations, they say, call Taiwo. Taiwo will go there. She will resolve it. Let Taiwo engage that person. Let Taiwo engage the organization. She will get it done. Collaboration. How many of us are collaborative? You need to learn. I shared with you my own values in life, and I said I believe so much in relationships. We need to collaborate. Every one of us has been endowed with skills, with capabilities, that if we can collaborate, and that is another platform Win-Biz is given, we can influence our world, all working towards a common goal. You need to have that skill in power dynamics. So they're checking you out. Does she collaborate, or is she a lone ranger? Does she like to do things on her own? Note also that for women also, we already have a minus, which society has been about they're women. So that's already a minus. So you need to go over and above to demonstrate the skills. Change management. How open are you? Building alliances, strategic ones. Something happened, and I had to call somebody high up there to resolve it. It was just a call, and the person was like, "How did you do it?" I said, "There's some people like us deliberately just poke them once a week. Hi, how are you? I'm just checking up. I'm keeping that person as a lifeline. I'm building alliances, making connections in certain places that when you need to wield the shield, you wield it. When you need to call them up, you call them up." Also, leadership. Effective communication. These are influencing skills that you need to have, particularly communication. How do you communicate concisely? How do you communicate without bias? Some of us still use absolutes when we're communicating. You need to be able to communicate effectively. You are communicating effectively when the recipient understands what you're trying to communicate. As I round up, I think I'm going to my last slide. Power play as a woman, how do you handle it? So you're a woman, you're married, you're in the workplace. Let's even forget about the gimmicks going around sexual abuses, discrimination in the workplace. First and foremost, I want us to note that your offer letter or that business you're running, you started it on the pedestal of you being first and foremost a professional. And so we must not stigmatize ourselves by saying, I'm a woman. You are a professional, you earn it. You have what it takes to do that job. So that's a mindset shift that we have to have. Secondly, is that we need to come and approach whatever we're doing from the place of professionalism and downplay the use of our femininity in the place of work. Thirdly, communication is first almost 90% nonverbal. So what nonverbal cues are you emitting on a daily basis? What energy, what vibe are you emitting? So you're in a meeting and the meeting is getting prolonged. You're squeezing your face, you're pressing your phone. They're checking out all these things. What kind of conversations do you have with men? I always recommend that you go and we should read this book. First, The Nice Girls Don't Get the Corner Office, and the second book is Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man. It's the e-copies of this book. So you understand how men are wired and how they take decisions at high level. We women are very intuitive, men are logical. So when you're trying to get an approval or trying to put something on the table, you must come from the place of logic. A plus B is C. If we do this, this is what will happen. Not I think or I feel, or not that I caught an aha moment that I bring it to the table. So you need to understand that. Also, I would say for the home front, elicit the right support. Many of us are backing out. We're not tracking as expected because we don't have the support. We don't have the support either from family, either from spouse or from siblings or from parents. At least paint them the beautiful picture. Remember, I painted the beautiful picture to my husband. This is what I want to do. This is where it will lead us. This is how it will help us. This is how I can also contribute my own part into the family. He bought into it. He latched into it. And that has been my sustaining power for 25 years, 21 years married. I'm going here, never a day has he said, don't go. or you're disturbing, or you're not yet back home. So sell the beautiful story, the beautiful end picture to that person or to those people and elicit their support. We need that support as women. And finally, I will say, how do you handle this? We need to collaborate. You cannot do it alone. Link with other people, other women who have gone that journey, who have succeeded along that line, and tap from their wealth of experience. In conclusion, your journey towards your dream career is like a dynamic roadmap. It's filled with unexpected twists and turns. But all of it covers also obviously a reflection of your unique abilities. We're unique in our ways and the incredible power that you have. Power is more than just a title. I've said that. I said five. It's about the choices we make, relationships we build. So it's a she's a powerful woman. No, it's because of the choices she has made, the relationship she has built, the ones she has dropped, the ones she has built, and the impact we create in our environment. When you understand power, it allows you to navigate career with precision and, of course, with integrity. Now, the central theme is on empowerment, which WIMBIZ is allowing. We have the WIMBIZ mentorship, we have the board directors training, a lot of things, WIMBIZ senior sister program, all these things. And as you move forward, remember that your career is a journey. Like I told you, I'm still on that journey. It is not a static map. It is a dynamic story waiting to be written. It is a testament of your growth, your resilience, and the incredible potential that you carry within you. So embrace it, shape it, and live it. Your career journey is a masterpiece in the making. Yeah, ladies,
wow. Thank
women,
you.
At this point, I am done talking. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, Madam Taiwo. Thank you. That was powerful. That was powerful. I love the examples you gave. Yes, okay. Can you just say thank
you? I so import most things. All those sardines that come.
Thank you so very much. Yeah, the first goals that you gave to us, you know, the very first line, experience is not the best teacher. The stories of others is, wow, that was profound for me. Yes, and I'm sure for other people. Yes, that was profound for me. Thank you so very, very much. Yeah, you know, you said so many things, so many things. You said collaborate. Don't be a lone ranger. Do alliances. Strategic one. You stressed, I noticed when you stressed, do strategic alliances, collaborate. Oh, that was powerful. More like saying, build your own social capital. Thank you so very much. You know, Madam, you did amazingly great. And when you were talking, Catherine Nwosun wrote, this is mind-blowing. You are speaking to me directly. In other words, Madam Taiwo, just call my name. Just call Catherine. Thank you so very much. I believe we have our questions. Ladies, I believe we do have our questions ready. If you have any question to ask, please kindly drop it in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself if you do have one. But while we do that, there was a question that was asked by two individuals, by Funke Ijayekunle and Claire. So they both need you to clarify on reward power. Reward power. You can unmute yourself, madam.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, sound and clear.
Okay, so when it comes to reward power, it's positive and negative. We all want to be in the good books. So you're a manager, you manage a team, but you cannot call your team to order when they're not performing. When you're doing appraisals, you rate them the best during appraisal. Reward power means that you're able to balance out reward. So many people are stagnated in their career because at a particular point in time, nobody has sat them down to say, this is how you're performing, and this is how you're faring. Now, when you also have reward power, your credibility becomes an issue when you're not using it well. So I have an opportunity to promote people, to do the salary reviews, to do the benchmarking, to do everything. That's power. But also, how do you use it? We also have some people who have the title, positional, but they haven't been given that reward power. I'll give an example. I know somebody who's an HR director, but cannot review somebody's salary, cannot recommend somebody for a salary review, except the chairman does it. And when you don't have reward power, it also doesn't help you to be able to wield your influence well in the place of work. So when you have reward power, you can see this person gets a 5%, this person gets 2%, and you're able to justify why the person gets a 2, another person gets a 5. It's something that when you have it, you're able to use it to your own advantage. So I don't know whether I've explained that. That's what I mean by reward power. It's one of the dynamics of power that you need to work with. Positional, expertise, reward, very important. The coercive power, and also the referent power. So the reward is you being able to determine, for lack of a better, people's face economically within the environment where you are. Okay, Claire, you got it? Okay, thank you. Okay, Elizabeth, over to you again. You want to unmute? Elizabeth, you want to unmute?
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so Mo Aremu is asking, I am currently negotiating with my boss on a new position, and based on all the data I provided, he has asked me to go write out my new job description and title. How I can navigate this and not to go overboard with my demands, or do I just go for the jugular or see what happens? So okay. That's a question.
Let me explain. So I was coaching someone. She's at that time, I think she was a principal manager in one of the banks in Nigeria, and she wanted to go for another role. That's about career transition. She was tired where she was. She wanted to go into another role, and she was telling me, how would she lay this on the table? So I told her, come from the point of value. For them to buy into this role, tell them what that will generate for the organization. Tell them the benefit of that role, or you being in that role for the organization. A typical entrepreneur has that mindset of, is their bottom line. What they're thinking about is their bottom line. Let me give a typical example. A category of my employees, I have Gen Zs, and the Gen Zs say, we had attrition at that level. And when we did the exit interviews, the bulk of them said, your company is too boring. That was one of my lives. It's too boring. There's no fun. Of course, I can write and say, please kindly approve that we should be having Thank God It's Friday, every Friday in the organization. Knowing that, I knew that would not fly. The company was okay, they want to play. They should close early and go and play in their homes. But look at what I said. I said, we want to have a timeout every Friday, once a month. And during that timeout, 3 things will happen. It will be an opportunity for the CEO to address the employees on the company's performance. Tick, tick 1. 2, it will be like a semi-town hall where employees can ask questions that we have sifted either through a survey or through our suggestion boxes. So it's a town hall, like a village meeting. 2, and the third one, we would round it up with a small tete-a-tete, whereby the senior management will be able to mingle with the lower catered employees and will develop an atmosphere of camaraderie. Look at the 3 points. They knew everything spoke to the business. I got the approval. So how are you presenting yourself? Go and do your job description as expected, but come from a point of value. This is the value this role will give to the organization. And I can bet you get your approval. I hope I've been able to answer that question well. Thank you.
All right, Mo, I hope that's clear enough. Thank you, madam. Okay, so I would like Alor to unmute herself. Please kindly unmute yourself to ask your question.
Thank you, Madam Taiwo. That was very insightful. So my question has to do around coercive power. So what do you do when you have some of your team members who are a bit laid back, and not until you use a bit of coercive power before they actually deliver? And so they've had it in them all along, but for some reason they're just there. And you talked about core values. So one of my core values is excellence and a timely turnaround and just results. I find that with some of my team members, not until I use that coercive power, which is for me almost out of character and actually quite exhausting. What alternative ways can one get team members like that to perform without having to use coercive power?
Okay, thank you very much. And I hope my response will help you. And it's simple. Lead by example. You start to do it. Okay. You do it first, so I will do it. I want to do a report, I will do it. I'll call you all into a meeting. This is the way I want the reports to be done going forward. Now, you also need to have a carrot and stick approach. You cannot always be Mr. Nice or Mrs. Nice. I've said it, the nice girls don't get the corner office. Let them know the implication of, if this thing is not done, this is the implication. So I have people in my team, well, rounding towards the end of the year, I've told them, most likely you're going to have a 2 in appraisal, because on a monthly basis, during our conversation, this is still pending, and this is the implication. So let them know the implication from day one. This is not done, this is the implication. This is not done, this is the implication. Now, I always end my emails or my communication is, if there's any help that you require, I am available. But like I said at the beginning, lead, show the way, show them the way. At the end of the day, the best power to have is referent power. Whether you're there or you're not there, they get the job done because we are influencing them from a point of positivity. If we're able to do that, then you'll be fine. Please try not to use that lifeline of coercive power. At the end of the day, after some time, they look to predict you, and they will say, at the end of the day, what should she do? She'll give me a query. So it's what we use sparingly. It's a lifeline. That should be your final lifeline. After you've exhausted every other one, then you use your coercive power. I hope I've helped.
Yeah, thank you so very much, Ma.
Thank you.
Right, Madam Taiwo, Mercy is asking, what will be your simple advice for a person resuming in a C-suite role in a new organization, a new industry?
Okay, so first and foremost, delete everything you know in the past. Everything that you know. Just, I told you, simple. Now sit with the owners of the business and say, what would you have me do? What are your pain points? Why have you brought me in here? What would you like to be addressed? Which areas what are the things you would like to be addressed? That should be your focus. That should be your focus. Getting to a C-suite role is not an opportunity for you to display your expertise. They already know you have it. That's why you're in a C-suite. There's nothing for you to prove again. You are there to come in as an advisor, a trusted advisor, and to help to sort out issues. So, give you an example. I go in there and I say, what are the issues? What are the pain points? Where would you need my help? You will find that most times in the C-suite role that it's an expertise or a skill that is used in your early years of your career that you have to deploy. But if you come from the angle of, I've known it all, I've been there, and you want to come into you may likely fail. So it's first of all to go in with a simple mind to say, where would I help? Come with a mind to help and ask for them. Get to know the history of the organization. Where are you coming from? What have been the issues in the past? What have been the challenges? Get to build relationships, strategic ones, so that when you begin to wield your stick and show your power, they will have accepted it for who you are, what's and all. When you're going to a C-suite role, it's about building relationships and strategic alliances. Anywhere I go, first thing, the CFO should be my friend. I will befriend the CFO. So I have so many boyfriends. CFO is my friend. Head of compliance is myself. The CRO, Chief Risk Officer, is my friend. The internal auditor these are my stakeholders. We're the ones that create the balance within the organization. So I begin to make penetrative friends, strategic ones, so that when I have a request, my request will begin to fly. I'm not here to provide solutions immediately, but to build those alliances and relationships. That's the first thing you should do. Get to know about the organization, ask for their pain points, and build strategic relationships. Then you begin to fly. You begin to fly. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so very much, Madam Taiwo. Morani Kejimi is asking, how do one navigate an environment where you pioneered a unit and now being asked to hand over to a new employee highly placed. And being asked to take a new role, also pioneer, that has not been officially communicated. There is also a silent gender-based politics. So how can these, participants navigate that environment?
First and foremost, it may break your heart, but it's a business decision. Should I say, you've built this, fine. But I also say something that most of us we keep ourselves stuck because we are still enjoying the old glory. You've done that work, fine. The government, the business is saying, leave that and come and do something new for us. Be willing to explore new grounds. And I would say, ask for the support, the tools that you need to succeed. Being a new ground and new terrain, you should be the one setting the landmark in terms of this is what I can do, set the goalposts, this is what I can do, and this is what I cannot do at this point in time. But finally, you said they are silent about it. If they have not communicated to you formally, please don't move. People renege on their promises. Whatever is not documented and is not written, I personally will not accept. I would say I'm willing to move, but these are my terms, and you are yet to communicate that to me formally. So ensure it is communicated formally to you in written form, that the terms are okay with you, and you are able to have that conversation to say, this is what will my deliverables be, and these are the help and assistance that will require to succeed. I want you to be bold. Take up that challenge. You can do it. Thank you.
All right, thank you so very much. Thank you. I'm afraid we may not be able to take any more questions. Thank you. Thank you. Amazing time with Madam Taiwo. Please, can you just celebrate our dear speaker? If you know that she has blessed you already today, just say, yeah, Madam, thank you. Yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. At this point, I would like to call on the chair, who gave us this opportunity, Madam Memuna Umar. Over to you, Ma.
Good evening, ladies. Good evening, everyone. I would like to start, first of all, thank you, Taiwo Dairo-Abaatan. Of course, as usual, I was here keenly taking my notes. That was an awesome session, very insightful, giving us really, really good tips, beautiful, wonderful nuggets to help us, especially those of us, in places like the public sector. We find that there's just a lot going on, really. In almost every sector. So I to just continue, go on with that. And for members of the Board of Trustees, Executive Director, WIMBIZ HQ, of course, without forgetting my dear 2020 members. You've all been awesome. It's been quite a journey. This is our 5th session. We started off in July with work-life integration. We also had the delivering a great elevator speech, and those were taken by 2 of our moved on to upscaling your CV with JAM, Jumoke Alioke Malaki. We also moved on where my dear Pai Gamde took that last month. And then, of course, today we have our the year 2023 with Taiwo Dairo-Abaatan. I must say, really, it's been an awesome experience. It's been everybody. I see so many people on the call. Met at different events, associates, and it's really been good. The essence of the e-learning to bring together associates and to do something that is not so something that is not too serious that we could do after work, in transit, you know, upgrade. Found out that with all the topics that were carefully chosen, by the way, by the team, are things that everybody really needs, but sometimes it. But then when the topics came up and then people have attended, there's been very good feedback and ratings. And this is something that WIMBIZ is looking at to continuing additional activities that will come up as time would go on. So I'd really want to everybody that contributed, you know. I can say that took the session today. Thank you very much for your inputs. You know, I'd like to just close this evening by just giving for today. First of all, we're going to post, and you also still be receiving it in your email. Please, observations, your comments, and your thoughts that really help us. The relationship between women. Chat box, we want to hear your opinion about all the sessions. We also who have not yet renewed their membership to kindly do so. Token membership dues that we pay, it keeps the WIMBIZ HQ running. You know, if you have any inquiries on the status of your dues and your contribution, at wimbiz.org. Again, for this year, we have the WIMBIZ Big Sister program. It's back to mentor women and girls. You can really, really make a difference in the life of a girl this year. A token of 10,000 naira per girl. This will give us give the girls an opportunity to be mentored and giving them little toolkits that they can work with, you know, to improve on their feed them for the day, and then generally encourage them as they go through, you know, to charter the course of their lives, you know. If we're going to put the going around with emails, links, and everything, just for you to support, volunteer, and contribute your quota as associates and life members. We are in October, and we know that next month, November, is the annual conference. This year is the 22nd annual conference. Registration is still ongoing. It's commenced. We're going to put the details in the chat. If you do have any inquiries, please send an email to conference@wimbiz.org. For more information, all the tips, all the links are there. And really, to register, we have a link provided in the chat box, and just check our website as well, www.wimbiz.org. to once again, follow WIMBIZ on all social media platforms, keep abreast of all the activities, and YouTube, and also on Instagram. Everything is up on the screen. Like, share, and participate. It's been a wonderful, wonderful, pleasant evening, and enjoy the rest of your evening. We look forward to having you again on all the other activities. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. To enjoy the rest of the evening. Take care.